Alright, I think I've solved the fundamental groundwork dilemma. What do I mean by that? Okay, if you want to be complete in your repertoire of martial artistry and human movement, you're going to have to learn how to work on the ground, in grappling, wrestling, groundwork. Um, that's one of the kind of areas of distance that you're going to have to learn. I mean, you got your kicking range, you got your punching range, you got your trapping range, and you're going to have to learn the grappling range too. And I recognize that. I, for one, that's the one range where I haven't done any of my homework. I haven't done any of my training in that range, and except for maybe Aikido is sometimes gets close to that range, but it's not the same. And I think in this day of age, it's even more important to learn that range because it's true that the UFC and other competition sport leagues of the sort have really changed the game out there. You have a wide public of millions and millions of spectators, some of whom are paying close attention to the techniques, and they're learning a lot of grappling and locking and choking and these kind of ground arts. And although they might, although the vast majority of them might be couch potato spectators and not ever practice those techniques, others might. And so, I think the chances of a fight being brought to the ground in that range these days especially is even higher than it was before, and particularly if you're a woman, because if a woman's getting assaulted, chances are it's going to go down on the ground, especially if it's like a sexual assault. That's the whole intention. So, it is important for those who are practitioners of martial artistry, I think, to become well versed in how to deal with things at that range. But the dilemma is, say for instance you're a guy, in order to become really thoroughly practiced so that the techniques are second nature and you're going to be able to actually employ them in a physical encounter, you're going to have to spend thousands of hours in tight, sweaty embraces with other men where your dicks and balls are rubbing up against each other and that kind of a thing. And, I don't know about other guys, but for myself, that training context is not appealing at all. And this is, why I've never gone into a class for jiu-jitsu or wrestling or anything like that, because I don't want to be that close to another sweaty guy. Not interested in it at all. I don't want to feel his, balls rub up against me or anything like that. So, I'm not interested. But I am interested in learning the groundwork that I should have as someone who is a practitioner of martial artistry. So it's a dilemma, but last night I was thinking about it and I came to the resolution, and it's really simple. And this is what I think should happen with that kind of training is maybe that should be left for couples. Men and women can do that kind of training. Maybe husbands and wives can do that kind of training. That's going to help the woman, to deal with those kind of situations. If ever, she should happen to have something so terrible happen to her. And it's going to help the man who is a martial artisan, or the woman who's a martial artisan, learn that grappling, wrestling, ground range. And if you can't do it with your wife or your girlfriend, your husband, your boyfriend, then find somebody who's willing, of the opposite sex, who's willing to train with you in that way, but who's not going to be threatening to your relationships. So for instance, myself, as I was thinking about this last night, I sent a quick text off to my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law and I have a really good relationship, and it's nothing that would ever threaten my marriage or anything like that. And so she's about the same size as me in terms of how tall she is, and she's pretty strong, and so I think she would be a good partner. So I asked her, she's pregnant right now, she's toward the end of a pregnancy, but I asked her, when you're done with your pregnancy and you're all recuperated from that, do you want to do some of this kind of training? Because I'd like to do some myself, but I don't want to train with men because I don't want to be that intimate with men. And so she sent me an email back last night and said, yeah, definitely. And so I think that's going to be good. So in a couple of 2-3 months or whatever, I might set myself up to practice some ground training with her. It'd be good for both of us. We'll both learn how to deal with situations in that range, but we don't have to do it in a way that's like man on man or what have you, because that just is not appealing training at all. And you gotta, like I said, you're gonna have to spend thousands of hours doing that kind of training to really there's a little bug on the camera, to really embody those techniques. And I don't want to spend thousands of hours with hugging on to sweaty men. So I definitely choose a woman to train with over a man for that kind of training any day, and should be adequate, I think, to give me the training that I need in that range of distance. So that's my solution. Feel welcome to pick it up and run with it. And for all the guys that want to keep on hugging on guys, enjoy that.